Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, a few days ago, I did mention that I was going to put up a special eBay video. So, as a follow up to my more recent Mercari video, this is that eBay video for this week. So, a few years ago, when I did started collecting, one of the things that I wanted to do is not only kind of learn from other buyers and sellers from different platforms like obviously eBay and Mercari, and learn from people who buy and collect and sell on Facebook and stuff. That's why these Facebook groups, these Hasbro brothers and these LJN groups and stuff like that. That's why stuff like that is so important, because you do find a lot of scam groups, a lot of spam sellers and buyers out there, right? So meeting certain buyers and certain sellers out there, it's important, and it's a safety precaution, and that's why I make a lot of these videos, because I like to kind of put my input out there. I have literally lived on freaking Facebook, lived on eBay, and probably the last couple of years on Mercari as well, being a major buyer on these platforms. And even though I didn't grow up with things like LJN, for example, and Remco, right? But man, I have lived and breathed these collections these last few years, and I have learned so much and devoted so much time into learning about this stuff that I'm about as knowledgeable in this when it comes to these action figures, stuff like that. That I do my damnedest to kind of pass that information and knowledge on to others. So when I make these Macari videos and these eBay videos, it's to pass that information on to others as well. So it's not just to make review videos so that other people can find the content and kind of learn about it, but I also want to make these spam seller videos as well. And that's exactly what this video is about. It's a protection video for interested buyers, so they know what sellers on eBay to buy from. They know what sellers to stay away from. So today's I've been inappropriately using the word mark, but it's incorrectly. So I'm not gonna refer to these members as marks anymore. It's incorrect. But the spammer or scammer, however you want to address them, today's terrible eBay seller to stay away from. There's a seller on eBay called Under Oath 2009, and Oath is spelled with a zero. And one of the things I've noticed, because I sold to this guy probably, I think the third week of December, and I'm looking at my Waddy's channel eBay account, right? And it says ship to and S. Res Smith. And that's an odd name because buyer paid Steve Walsh. So he has two completely different names. But you're also going to see a couple of screenshots that I'm going to put up in this video for you guys. This guy is an absolute scumbag. And eBay is absolutely no help whatsoever. And this is what I talk about when it comes to things like feedback extortion. You guys know me, man. I will move heaven and hell to go above and beyond to take care of my buyers when someone buys from me, right? So if somebody has a bad experience, what can I do to try and make that experience positive? But the thing is, when you're a buyer or when you're a seller, right, and you think that you've done the right thing, and someone says, "Hey, man, I got the wrong item," like, did you literally send them the wrong item, or are they trying to scam you? So as a seller, you got to be very cautious. Like, hey, did I screw up, or did is this guy trying to screw me over? So in this particular instance, that's not the case, but I just use it as an example. But this guy, in this particular example, I take my customers' satisfaction very, very seriously. I take my feedback on eBay very seriously. For those businesses out there, those brick and mortar stores, they sell 1,000 items a week. If they get 30 negative feedback in a month, you look at their feedback and they get like 200 negative feedback in a year or something, and their feedback rating is like 95. It's like, who cares, right? I mean, they've made like 10,000 sales that year. I mean, they're making a bundle. So it's their feedback rating is, it doesn't matter. For me, I make maybe a few sales a month. If I have a really good month, maybe I'll make 10, 15 sales, depending on which eBay account I'm selling off of. But for me, I should always be 5-star ratings across the board. I should always be 100% rating every time. 365 across the board. So whenever I get a negative feedback, yeah, it hurts, obviously. And so I sold this guy an action figure, a Just Toys Bend'em figure, and transaction went smoothly. A very easy process. I mean, it's not exactly something that would require negative feedback. It wasn't that type of transaction that would get negative feedback. I checked my feedback one day, late December, early January, negative feedback. I'm like, what the heck? I checked my status. The only comments I got was not good. I hate that. That drives me nuts. That doesn't tell you anything about the transaction. Okay, what was not good about the transaction? Give me details. Reach out to me so that I know what you didn't like about the transaction so I could try to rectify it. I reached out to the buyer. Hey man, I'm sorry that the transaction didn't go well. Is there anything I could have done? Obviously, my feedback is important to me. I'm going to send you a feedback revision. Can you please alter it? It wasn't until after I sent him the feedback revision request that I clicked on his feedback rating, and I see that this guy has a history of getting negative and neutral feedback from his account. So my mindset is this guy has a history of being a horrible seller himself. And when you are a bad seller, who cares if you leave negative feedback on somebody else's account? You're a bad seller. I mean, who cares if that impacts someone else? I mean, bad selling, and then it goes far and beyond that, though. This guy was such a horrendous seller. I actually bought from this guy before. Oh yeah. This wasn't even about this transaction. So a couple months so this was in December. He bought the item from me. Back in August, there was a what was it? It was like probably like a 14 or 16 inch. I think it was like a Ryan Steele VR Troopers, new in package. I put a quote around that new in package VR Trooper figure that I bought, and I had reached out to this guy. He had it listed for a very high price, astronomical shipping price, and I hate when people do that. It drives me nuts. Okay. And I think I listed for like $40, but like shipping was like I said, astronomical, more than it should have been. I came with an offer for like $30, or I reached out to him like, hey, can I offer you $30? No response. And I might have come in like a week or two later, like, hey, you never responded, and I put in an offer again. Would you take $30? No response. Probably came in like another week or two later. Hey, I'm just following up. This message. Would you be interested in an offer of $30? Again, I don't sit there and harass anybody when I send offers. I try to give them time to respond. I don't like sitting there and come and reach out to people several times a day or multiple times within a week. Like I said, I give them time to reach out when they have. But if it's like been like 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, and there's no response, that's crazy. But yeah, after like a month of no responses, I probably reached out to him like 3 or 4 times and absolutely nothing. At that point, I was sick of it. So over the course of like the next week, yeah, I bombarded him with messages, and it wasn't to like harass him or anything. It was, I wanted to send him enough messages so that I could sit back and say, look, I made every attempt humanly possible to reach out to you for communication, and you just would not respond whatsoever. And I probably sent a dozen messages, no response. And we're not talking about him selling something for $40 and me coming in it with an offer of like 850, okay? $30. We're talking $10 off a $40 item. And for the amount of what he was asking shipping wise, he was definitely going to earn that and then some in shipping cost alone, okay? So he he was going to earn his profit more than enough. And the item wasn't even worth what he was asking. So after a while, I'm like, you know what? I've been collecting these VR troopers for a few months now. I like this item a lot. I don't see it on anyone else. I want to pick it up. So I decided to bite the bullet and purchase the figure. And I was blocked. I'm like, unfreaking believable. So I'm like, you know what? This guy's being a scumbag. I can either say screw it, not buy it from this guy. He doesn't deserve my business, but I wanted the item. I decided to buy it from my Waddy's channel account, and I purchased the item. Item took probably a week or so to be shipped. I'm like, God, this guy is awful. He is a bad business dealer. Shipped the item. It came in a box way too small for the pack. This was supposed to be a new and packaged item. When I got the item in, the box it came in was, like I said, was way too small, and so the actual packaging was all crushed, creased. It was just the packaging as a collector. We all know packaging is just as important as the item itself. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I do. I probably made 3 or 4 thousand purchases on eBay over the last 3 years. I probably left negative feedback on probably 5 people, 5 to 10 people the last among those 3 or 4 thousand purchases. So you have got to be the worst service ever for me to give you negative feedback. That is how terrible this service was. Terrible communication, terrible packaging, terrible ship time. I mean, just there were just no positive takeaways. And you will see in the links I'm going to provide the information that I left him negative feedback. He deserved every little bit of that negative feedback. So this was feedback extortion, as eBay calls it. He's so petty. He waited months just so that he could come on my account, buy one of the more inexpensive items on my account for the sole purpose of leaving me negative feedback. That is the childish pettiness that you get from a seller like this. He doesn't provide he doesn't provide any service whatsoever. His business etiquette is horrendous. His products are overpriced, and if you feel like, and you basically got to kiss his butt and leave positive feedback, otherwise you're gonna have to deal with something like this. So guys, if you are ever on eBay and you run into under oath 2009, stay away from him. He is a scumbag. And like I said, Guy's got two different names. I don't know who the right person is. Is it Steve Walsh? Is that his name? Is it this S. Res Smith in Kansas City, Missouri? I don't freaking know, man. Scumbag. So yeah, from now on, I will probably make some videos like this, probably eBay videos once a week. At least, I think these videos are fun, where I give a shout out to those good sellers on eBay who deserve business, and I will give a shout out or call out to those who simply just don't even deserve to be on the platform. They're an absolute cancer. So yeah, I might be bitching and whining, but like I say, guys, I take my feedback status very seriously, and this might be the only negative feedback I received the entire year. But the fact that it happened so early in the year, and I got to wait another 12 months now for this stuff to get erased, it sucks. Well, this could have happened July, and I got to wait 12 months from July, right? So it doesn't matter when it happens. You got to wait 12 months from the time you get that feedback rating. It's not like you get it December 23rd and then January 1st it's gone. No, it's 12 months from the time you get the rating. So stupid. And I should have blocked the scumbag way back when, but my mistake. So I'm gonna put that information in the little snippets right after I say my goodbyes, and that way you guys will have something to look at real quick, and I might have a little music for you guys or something. I don't know. I've just started to learn how to include music a little bit, so hopefully that'll be something a little bit added for you guys. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for letting me do my little venting. Just a little bit frustrated. So that's it for guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, guys, take care. All right, guys.